но и много хорошего.
Our story kicks off in an underwater realm where the Fish King, sporting a magical ring, chats with his spy, a frog. The king's on the hunt for his future fish bride, but the frog's clueless about her whereabouts. Frustrated, the king sends the frog on a mission to scour every river, stream, and pond. We then surface in a quaint Russian village where we meet a blind blacksmith and his son, Ivan. Our hero Ivan is a sweet guy, but he's got a lot to learn about the world. As he heads out for the day, his dad nudges him to pick up the family trade. Ivan agrees and sets off to catch some grub. Armed with a bucket and fishing hook, Ivan trudges to the frozen river. He breaks the ice and drops his line, but what happens next is far from your average fishing trip. Bubbles start popping up, and before Ivan can blink, a fish shoots right into his bucket. Ivan's all set to cook up his catch, but hold on, this fish has other plans. It starts chatting with Ivan, offering him 3 wishes in exchange for freedom. Ivan's mind starts racing with possibilities. Without really thinking, Ivan mumbles about wanting to see the whole city without leaving home, and just like that, magic happens. The house starts to rise and the fish lets Ivan know his first wish is coming true. Ivan's barely had time to process what's happening when the fish drops another bombshell. That offhand comment? Yeah, that counts as his first official wish. Before he knows it, Ivan and his forge are on the move, becoming part of this wild, magical journey. The fish explains that since Ivan wanted to explore while sticking close to his forge, that's exactly what he's getting. Talk about an unexpected adventure! Our story takes an unexpected turn as Ivan, still reeling from disbelief, shivers in the winter cold. He mutters a wish for warmth and greenery, and bam! The icy landscape melts away, replaced by a cozy spring orchard. The fish chimes in, reminding Ivan he's now 2 wishes down, with just 1 left in his pocket. Ivan, lugging the fish-filled bucket, starts to kick himself for not dreaming bigger with his wishes, but the wise fish reassures him that everyone's wishes reflect their own worldview. It's a nice moment, but it doesn't last long. Suddenly, a gang of bandits crashes the party, hoping to score some loot. Finding Ivan's pockets empty, they set their sights on the magical fish. Quick thinking Ivan seizes a chance to bolt, fish in tow. With the bandits hot on his heels and options running low, Ivan makes a snap decision. He releases the fish into the river, urging it to stay safe. The furious bandits catch up and leave Ivan hanging, literally, from a tree. But just when things look bleakest, a beautiful woman appears and helps him down. Ivan spots a fishy detail, a scarf with a fish pattern on her shoulder. Could it be? Yep, it's the fish, now in human form. She introduces herself as Jana, but Ivan's not taking any chances. He grabs the scarf to keep her from swimming off and reminds her he's still got 1 wish in his back pocket. Jana's curious about his plans, and Ivan spills the beans. He's aiming to marry the Tsar's daughter, but here's the kicker. He wants to do it on his own, with Jana as his wingwoman. Meanwhile, at the Tsar's palace, Princess Nancy's buzzing with excitement. An English ambassador is on his way, and she's always fancied the idea of an English hubby. But there's a snag. King Tsar can't stand the English and wants no part of this potential match. The ambassador rolls up, hoping to win over the king and ask for the princess's hand. He presents Nancy with an umbrella, which she absolutely adores, but King Tsar's not having any of it. He gives the ambassador an earful, accusing the English of only showing up when there's something to steal. Talk about a royal clash of cultures. Just as the ambassador tries to smooth things over with a gift, our dynamic duo, Ivan and Jana, make their grand entrance to the kingdom. The ambassador's showing off a peculiar music box, but there's a sneaky twist. There's actually a guy hidden inside, cranking out tunes. Talk about thinking outside the box. While the ambassador's busy impressing, or trying to, Ivan and Jana are doing some stealth reconnaissance behind the palace walls. Despite the fancy gadget, the king's not buying what the ambassador's selling. But Princess Nancy, she's head over heels for this English charmer and ready to walk down the aisle. Things get a bit awkward when the ambassador starts smooching Nancy's hand, leaving the king at a loss. That's when Ivan bursts in like a whirlwind, pitching an idea to the king. Forget the Englishman, he'll bring a real self-playing music machine. The king's eyes light up like it's Christmas morning. He's so relieved to have an out from this English marriage business that he tells Ivan he can ask for anything, even the princess's hand, if he pulls this off. Nancy's not thrilled about this plot twist in her love story, but Ivan's not backing down. The king, feeling generous, decides to deck Ivan out in some new threads for his quest. Our boy Ivan, who's been rocking worn-out socks, is over the moon about this royal makeover. Outside, Ivan's bubbling over with excitement as he fills Jana in on the deal. But Jana's got some bad news. This magical music box, it's guarded by a creature in the dark forest, and it's got a nasty reputation for making treasure hunters disappear. Jana spills the tea on the instrument's creepy powers. Happy tunes? You'll dance till you drop. Sad melodies? You'll cry yourself to sleep. Either way, you end up as creature chow. Yikes. Ivan, brave or maybe just stubborn as ever, decides to take on this perilous mission. He and Jana pack up some grub, ready to face whatever the dark forest throws their way. It's a risky move, but hey, true love and a shot at the crown is worth fighting for, right? Ivan and Jana push deeper into the dark forest, battling through treacherous paths. At the forest's edge, Jana gives Ivan a pep talk and sends him off solo. As Ivan trudges on, he finds himself in a boneyard of failed adventurers. Creepy, right? Suddenly, a voice booms out. It's the creature, challenging Ivan to a musical face-off. The deal? Resist the instrument's spell, and it's yours. Ivan bravely picks the sad tune, but plot twist. He starts singing along. The creature's jaw drops. Turns out, this was Ivan's childhood lullaby. Talk about a lucky break. The creature, now facing starvation without its magical meal ticket, spills its sob story. But our kind-hearted Ivan shares his snacks. And boom, he's got himself a new bestie and a shiny new instrument. The grateful creature even decides to tag along on the return trip. Meanwhile, back at the river, Jana's chilling when a froggy messenger hops up with some royal gossip. The Fish King's been searching high and low for her, ready to put a ring on it. But Jana's not having it, sending the frog packing with a firm, "Thanks, but no thanks." Just then, Ivan rolls up with his new cat buddy and the coveted instrument, catching the tail end of Jana's frog chat. As they head back, Ivan shows he's got the emotional intelligence of a champ, totally getting why Jana's not into the whole arranged underwater marriage thing. Back at King Czar's palace, it's deja vu with a twist. The English ambassador's back, this time cosplaying as an Italian to woo the princess. She's thrilled, but before anyone can say pasta, Ivan crashes the party with his magical music box. On cue, the cat starts jamming out some peppy tunes, and suddenly it's like a medieval rave in the throne room. Everyone's dancing their royal socks off, caught in the spell of the irresistible beat. It's a full-on royal dance-off, and nobody can stop their feet from moving. Ivan cues the cat to wrap up its musical number, and King Czar's absolutely blown away. He's so impressed, he decides the palace needs a permanent DJ. The cat and the instrument are staying put. Ivan, seizing his moment, reminds the king of their deal. The king's ready to make good on his promise, but Princess Nancy's not exactly jumping for joy. Our clever princess has a trick up her sleeve. She challenges Ivan to an impossible task, hoping to dodge this marriage bullet. Ivan, bless his heart, agrees without hesitation. Nancy buys herself some time, promising to reveal the challenge the next day. Later, Ivan catches up with Jana, who's curious about wedding bells. Ivan fills her in on Nancy's curveball, but he's still optimistic. Meanwhile, Nancy's cooking up some serious trouble. Under the cover of night, Nancy sneaks off to the palace warehouse for a little supernatural consultation. She summons her not-so-nice mom's spirit, looking for the ultimate impossible task to throw at Ivan. Mom's ghost doesn't disappoint, serving up a doozy of a challenge. The next day, Nancy puts her plan in motion. She gets the ambassador to show off another fancy gadget, a veggie-chopping, juice-making wonder. But here's the kicker. There's actually someone hidden inside doing all the work. Talk about smoke and mirrors. Before the king can react, Nancy jumps in with her challenge for Ivan. She asks if he can bring a magical tablecloth that not only serves food but cleans up after itself. The king mentions he's heard whispers of such a wonder, but never actually laid eyes on one. Nancy, playing it cool, suggests to her dad that if Ivan can snag this mythical tablecloth, she'll tie the knot. With the gauntlet thrown down, Ivan and Jana set off on their next wild adventure, hunting for this legendary linens. Our duo's got their work cut out for them this time. Will they find this magical made in a tablecloth? Even in Jana's quest takes them on a winding path, with Jana spilling the beans about the tablecloth's backstory. Turns out, it belongs to two brothers, JN and Ron, who've gone full hermit in the mountains. These guys have gotten so comfy with their magical made in a cloth that they've basically become couch potatoes with legs. On their journey, our duo crashes at an elderly couple's place. Despite being broke as a joke, these lovebirds are as tight as ever. Jana gets all poetic, comparing true love to a needle and thread. One's useless without the other. Deep stuff, right? After trekking through some Instagram-worthy fields, they finally spot the brothers. And boy, have they let themselves go. They're sprawled out among the cliffs, looking like they haven't moved since the tablecloth arrived. Ivan, bless his heart, just walks up and asks for the tablecloth. The brothers flip out and bean him with a coconut, ouch, while Ivan's seeing stars. Quick-thinking Jana suggests the brothers take a good, hard look at themselves. Shocked by their reflection, think human-sized Pillsbury Doughboys, the brothers have a moment of clarity. Jana, playing life coach, convinces them to ditch the magical tablecloth and rediscover the joys of actually doing stuff. They hand it over, and our heroes hit the road. On the way back, Ivan's over the moon, picking flowers for Nancy like he's in a rom-com. Jana tries to break it to him gently that Nancy's not exactly waiting at the altar, but Ivan's not having it. His pure heart and eternal optimism have Jana catching feelings, but she keeps it under wraps. Back at the palace, Nancy and her English beau are mid-celebration, thinking they're in the clear, but surprise, Ivan rolls in like a conquering hero, the whole kingdom cheering him on. The king's impressed, but Nancy, she's fuming. In a panic, Nancy's back to her ghost mom hotline, desperate for a new plan to dodge this royal wedding. Will she come up with another impossible task? Can Ivan's pure heart win the day? And what about Jana's secret feelings? The next day, a shocking twist unfolds at court. Jana, the wicked mother, announces her willingness to marry, but with a catch. She'll only tie the knot if her mother approves. This means Ivan must journey to the treacherous dark world to get permission. The king quickly realizes his daughter's clever ploy. She's setting up an impossible task for Ivan, hoping to dodge marriage. After all, who survives a trip to the dark world? Both the king and Ivan feel their spirits sink, but Ivan bravely accepts the challenge. Jana doesn't sugarcoat the danger. She warns Ivan that entering the dark world is like walking into death's jaws. It's a realm unlike any other. When Ivan asks about the route, Jana paints a grim picture. He must first brave a dark forest and cross a perilous black river, shrouded in fog. As dawn breaks, Ivan and Jana set off on their quest, but first they visit Ivan's blind father. The old blacksmith, struggling with his work, hasn't heard his son's voice in ages. He expresses his sorrow, wishing he could search for Ivan himself. Seeing his father's condition, Ivan's heart breaks. He regrets leaving him alone and asks for forgiveness. Before they leave, Ivan makes a touching decision. He uses his last wish to heal his father's eyes. In a magical moment, the blacksmith's sight returns as he works at his forge. At the river's edge, Ivan reflects on their journey. He's fulfilled Jana's wishes and supported her, but now he feels it's time to part ways. He returns her fisherman's scarf, setting her free. But Jana surprises him with her response. She explains that their bond is like a thread and needle, inseparable. She can't abandon him now, especially in these trying times. Jana asks Ivan to understand that once he succeeds, they can be together. Despite his confusion about her feelings, Ivan accepts her company. Together, they board the boat and sail into the unknown. As they venture deeper, eerie statues of death's messengers loom around them. It's clear they've entered the dark zone. Disembarking in a strange valley, Ivan can't help but comment on the otherworldly atmosphere surrounding them. As they explore this strange new realm, a surprising figure emerges, the guardian of the dark world. He's shocked to see them, and Jana explains their presence. This revelation stuns Ivan. The guardian drops another bombshell. Jana is his daughter. He shares how he transformed her into a fish, hoping she'd learn about the world. Jana then reveals their true mission. They seek the queen's soul. The guardian paints a grim picture of the queen. She was a cruel ruler who married for power and oppressed the poor. Now her soul suffers eternal hunger as punishment. When the queen's spirit appears, she stubbornly refuses to bless the marriage. Seeing the standoff, Jana's father steps in. He tempts the queen with food, explaining her torment will end if she agrees. Under pressure, the queen finally gives in. Back at King Jar's palace, Nancy and a diplomat feast while the king watches sadly. Suddenly, the queen's soul materializes on a platter, announcing her consent. The king's joy contrasts sharply with Nancy's shock at Ivan's success. In the dark world, Jana bids farewell to her father. As she and Ivan sail home, she tells him he's conquered the hardest challenge. With a hint of sadness, she urges him to forget her, assuming he'll marry the princess. But Ivan surprises her, insisting he can't and won't forget her. Jana reminds him of a dark twist. Those who return from this place lose their memories. Meanwhile, a furious Nancy storms into the storage room, intent on destroying the chair that summoned her mother's spirit. Her mother reveals she was forced to grant Ivan certain freedoms, but she has a secret weapon. When Nancy presses for details, her mother drops a bombshell. Ivan didn't act alone. A magical fish aided him throughout his journey. In their kingdom, using magic carries a deadly price. This revelation sets the stage for a dangerous new chapter in their story. Ivan and Jana continue their river journey. As dawn breaks, Ivan wakes up to find the boat ashore, but his memories of Jana have vanished. Confused, he asks who she is. Jana simply replies, "I'm just the one who steers the boat." Ivan steps off, feeling like he's forgetting something crucial. When Ivan meets Nancy, he confesses he's completed the tasks but fallen for someone else, though he can't remember who. Nancy, ever cunning, probes if he had help. Ivan admits to magical assistance, but can't recall the source. Nancy seizes this opportunity, ordering his arrest. In her kingdom, magic use means death. Ivan is shocked. The person he risked everything for has betrayed him. As he's blindfolded for execution, Jana appears out of nowhere. She offers herself in exchange for Ivan's life, giving Nancy a scarf with fish scales, proof of her magic. Moved, Nancy accepts the deal and cancels Ivan's execution. Power-hungry Nancy imprisons her own father and crowns herself queen. She gloats to Jana about her first wish coming true, then demands the Prince of England propose to her. Thanks to Jana's magic, English soldiers arrive with a proposal. The English ambassador, Nancy's former flame, feels betrayed. Nancy coldly demotes him to palace cleaner. Meanwhile, Ivan wanders aimlessly, struggling to remember his adventures with Jana. During a late-night visit to his father, he meets John and Ron, now leaner from hard work. His father mentions Jana's last visit, and the sight of John's thread and needle triggers a flood of memories. Suddenly, everything about Jana comes rushing back to Ivan. The pieces of his forgotten adventure start falling into place, setting the stage for what might be a dramatic reunion and a chance to right the wrongs that have unfolded. With newfound determination, Ivan springs into action. Backed by his father and the brothers, they storm the palace. The doors crash open as Ivan confronts Nancy, demanding Jana's freedom. He warns the soldiers of dire consequences if Nancy refuses. Nancy, ever the schemer, makes one last play. She turns to Jana, asking for a third wish, to become a sorceress like her. Jana grants the wish, but with a clever twist. In a flash, Nancy transforms into a fish. Panic-stricken, Nancy tries to undo the spell, but she quickly realizes she can't use magic for her own gain. Suddenly, water gushes from a nearby well. The Fish King emerges, mistaking Nancy for Jana. Before anyone can react, he whisks her underwater to be his bride. With Nancy gone, joy erupts throughout the palace. Ivan's father is freed and reclaims his rightful place as king. In the midst of celebration, Ivan and Jana finally confess their love. They decide to build a life together, bringing this magical tale to a heartwarming close. This fantastic adventure, brimming with magic and unexpected twists, ends on a high note. It's a story of love triumphing over deceit, of justice prevailing, and of true hearts finding each other against all odds.